Hey guys, this is Billy Fletcher, again from Alliance Champions Training Center. Today we're going to continue our discussion on our physical training system for functional fitness. In the last couple of episodes we talked about three priorities that we have in our training system: movement, strength, and conditioning. And today we're going to focus on conditioning. Really, we break our conditioning down in really three different areas. One, mental conditioning. Two is something we call armoring. And three is metabolic conditioning. Okay, so let's start with taking a step back. If I look at the training at our gym in general, we want to have an integrated training. So we want to work, or at least give you the opportunity to work mind, body, and spirit. So when we talk about the mental training, everything we do really involves some aspect of mental training. We'll do some things where there may be a higher focus on that. For instance, in our crucible events, things of that nature, but every day is an opportunity to work the mental side of things. So that's, conditioning for the mind is a piece of the program always. Number two is something we call armoring. In martial arts, sometimes this is referred to as callousing. So especially with our youth program, if we're talking about any kind of sport where there's contact, we want to develop and really build our body to withstand contact. And so, even if you're an adult not playing any contact sports, it's still important. If you were to fall, if you're unfortunately being like in a car wreck or anything like that, we want to build that capacity, condition the body to withstand that. So we have our general strength training that we talked about last time, but also we incorporate things such as, farmer's carries, sandbag carries, yoke carries, things of that nature, where your body is loaded and under tension. So really the entire body under tension, and so that allows you to really build a body that can withstand stress in a functional way. Of course, our martial arts program incorporates this in a daily basis as well through the physical contact, but also through throws, falls, rolling on the mat, so forth. So all those things incorporate body armoring, which is another type of conditioning. When most people think of conditioning, we really refer to more of what we call metabolic conditioning. So what is metabolic conditioning? Well, you may have heard the term aerobic and aerobic. So most people, in my experience over the years, at least in the old days, when we talked about being in cardiovascular shape, they were always referring to aerobic fitness, which is great. We try to incorporate that as part of our training system. But what we often found was we may have people that come in that are, let's say, use the example of running, for instance. They're runners. They may even be able to run a marathon, so to speak. That's more of an aerobic-based exercise, and that's great, okay? But on the other side of that, their anaerobic system may not be very well trained. So we want to try to find a balance of both aerobic and anaerobic. And actually in our training program, we put a little bit more emphasis on the anaerobic because we feel like there's more bang for your buck there. Because you can also, not only can you train your metabolism, but you can also build strength, power, speed, all those things as part of that training system as well. And then lastly, I like to kind of talk about conditioning because I think this is a big, not concern, but trying to explain how conditioning works. You've got a couple different things going on. So you've got general conditioning, which is typically how our program is set up. We're working on a lot of different exercises, a lot of different time domains, things of that nature. So we're building general physical conditioning over a broad range of different exercises, workouts, so on and so forth. And then you have specific adaptations conditioning as well. So there's kind of two different things. And so unless you're under a rock recently, if you followed the big boxing match, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, someone had written an excellent article about that in relationship to conditioning. So one of the things that a lot of people were saying after the fight was, well, Conor wasn't in shape for that fight. Like he basically gassed out, and Floyd was in better shape. And really, that's a great example of explaining what I'm talking about. So if you look at those two athletes, one has spent the majority of his life doing one specific thing, boxing. Conor, on the other hand, was training for multiple things for MMA. So he's training striking, he's training not just boxing, he's training Muay Thai, he's training wrestling, he's training jiu-jitsu. So he has to build a broad range of fitness for all of those different domains, okay? So in a situation like that, who's going to be more efficient? Floyd's going to be more efficient at boxing, okay? So both those guys, fantastic shape, but one guy's training more specifically for that one thing. Now take that to other areas. So if I'm a runner, for instance, and I go out and I run and I practice the skill of running, I'm going to become more efficient at it, and I can become conditioned for that specific skill. It doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to transfer into other things. Vice versa, if I build my general conditioning and then I should be able to take any skill that I want to develop and work on that, okay, in a short period of time, be able to transfer that into that specific skill. So it's kind of two different ways to look at conditioning: a general adaptation to conditioning, which again is more of what our program is based on, and then specific. And of course, you can apply, integrate those two into whatever your specific goals are. Thank you.